How to configure a terminal server. Terminal server overview. Terminal server provides out-of-band access for several devices. Out-of-band access is through a router's console or aux port versus inbound access that occurs over the network using Telnet or SSH. Generally, a terminal server is a router with multiple asynchronous ports that are connected to other devices, such as the console port of other routers or switches. This is how you would configure a terminal server and you want to use Telnet. So I have actually a topology here in Packet Tracer, and I already configured the server. So the server here is actually this here, 1841. So I actually had to add this module here. Um, you have to turn it off and add this module here to this how do you call it, socket. So you can connect octal cable actually here. So I had to use that cable. So as you can see here, there's still um, vacant or unused ports that you can connect from the terminal server uh, to a console port on another device. So yeah, so I already configured the terminal server, like I said, and let me just I can just show you the configurations, of course. Um, so what I did is basically configured an IP address. So usually you should configure a loopback interface and assign an IP address. But in my example, I'm just using this fast Ethernet 0/0 and I assign this IP address. And then I just basically allowed Telnet under these lines. So these are the asynchronous lines, right? So you can actually verify that also by here. These are the asynchronous lines. Allowing Telnet as a transport across synchronous lines. Yeah, that is correct. And basically step 3 is I did actually configure basically this is a static DNS entry used by the router. So meaning that if I configure this, let me just show you that. IP host, that's how you configure it, and then the name of the host. So in my case, um, I use these host names of these routers, so R1, R2, and R3, R4, and I map that host name to a port number. So in this case, I'll just show it to you. R1, so default telnet port number. So in this case, this port number here, or R1 is connected to port number 2 on the terminal server. So that's why I had to say 2002. And you can see the port number as well in this topology here. So you have 2, 3, 4, and 5. And yeah, it says here the port number is 2000 plus the line number. So if you go to the line number, you will see that here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is 8. Yeah. So yeah, that's how you can map a IP address to a host name. And then to just access that or verify that that configuration is working, I have like commands here that we can use. So if in our example we can use this telnet 192.168.1.1, and then the port is 2002, and that's it. You can either use that, and this we expect that this should connect to R1, and that did not work. Why? Check. Telnet, I expect that 1.1 2002. How come it's not working? Input all. Can we try other port? Refused. Hmm. Let me try again. I think I tried this earlier and it worked. Telnet 192. So the IP address is 192.168. Yeah, that's correct. And the port number is, no, the IP address is 192.168.0.1.1. The port number is that. Let me try yeah. Okay, something is blocking our connection. And let me just say input, transport input, all, and then just to make sure, oh no, that's fine. We'll allow all. Yeah, let's try again. That's not good. Input all. That is not good. Let me try this. Okay, I think I know what's the problem. So there is already a, yeah. Show line. Okay. So show clear line TTY2. And this connection here, we expect that that should, yeah. So now, if we try to, let's try this. Yeah, everything is allowed, both, SSH and Telnet. So let me just do that same command, and I believe it should work now, this time. Yeah, it works. Yeah. And to exit from that session, Control Shift 6 plus X, and then clear line TTY2. Yeah. Okay, so that's working. So we just had to kill the previous session from the laptop here in the topology. So what was happening was this laptop had a console connection um, to R1. So we had to kill it first before we were able to console into that router 1 or reverse telnet to that R1 from the terminal server. Okay, so that is working as expected. And I'm going to show you the other commands here, but let me just discuss the SSH configuration. So step 1 is same. Step 2, this is something that this router that I have in Packet Tracer doesn't support. So I was not able to test this myself, but this is basically to just map the range of ports to the to to rotary group here. So configure SSH to listen to a range of ports and map them to rotary group and apply it under the lines. So rotary 1 means it it should be it's mapped to 2001. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, let me just read the whole thing. For SSH access, the TTY lines do not listen to the same ports as Telnet does. So you need to define the ports manually with the use of the rotary group. So yeah, that's what we are doing here actually. So for this line, this should be the port that the SSH is listening to is 2002 and so on. And of course, you have to configure VTY lines for SSH as outgoing protocol since you open reverse connection to that line. So it comes from VTY line and hence SSH should be allowed. And last but not least, ensure that you have configured the usernames correctly based on the authentication criteria that is used. In this example, we have configured a local username password with Cisco password. Of course, I got this procedure from this year, I believe. Yeah, this one. And yeah, this is some of the ways that you can use to connect to the devices that your terminal server has connection to, or yeah, or you can actually. So this is how you telnet from the server itself. Yeah, from the server, from the terminal server, Telnet, or SSH. And number two is from laptop that has network connection to the terminal server. This is something that we can try in this video. Um, so what I'm going to do is this here, were to, let me just take a note here, where two is the line number. Yeah. So going back here, and I'm going to just copy and paste this command. So here, this means that I will connect, I'm trying to connect to R1. So I have to specify the line number. So in this case, number 2. And you can see that here from the terminal server. So this here, this is the line number, and this synchronous port is connected to R1. So this should work. Yeah, yeah, R1. And in this case, you cannot actually uh, exit out. I guess you can just close the session, but you can kill that session from the terminal server. So you see here that there is a user, active user on this line. So what we can do is clear it. TTY number 2, I believe. Yeah. So it said, you see here that connection closed by foreign host, and that is me, right? So yeah, that's how you should kill. That's how you kill a session from the terminal server. And number 3 is, yeah, we can try this, of course. Let me try R3. Yeah, it works. So we're now on R3, and you can exit out by pressing Control Shift 6 X, and then clear line TTY 2. Yeah. Oops, that's not correct. Oops. Let me just check the session. Oh, it's line 4. So clear line TTY 4. There you go. And then enter the session number to connect to the, yeah, so session number. We don't have a existing connection, session. Let me try this. Okay, Control Shift 6 and then show session. So let me just press 1. Ah, yeah, that works. I will be returned, yeah, so R4. Okay, let me just configure this. Hostname R4. Oops. Oh, okay, because I'm on R4. Save. and then Control-Shift-6, Control-Shift-6, and then clear line tty. Show line first. So I can clear tty 4, confirm, and 5. Okay. It's not show session. Let me just close this and reopen it again. It's still showing that there's active users here, but nothing is showing from show sessions command. I think it's just a bug, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna continue with these commands. So use terminal application. So with the use of SSH client software, you can connect through SSH with the use of the port based on the mapping on terminal lines. So that's something that we cannot try in this lab. But so this is a scenario where you can use PuTTY, for example, or secure CRT. So you can go connect directly to the router, to the device itself. You don't have to go to the terminal server and then connect SSH to the device from there. So you can go directly to the device itself. So in this case, to the router itself, to R1 or rather. And then you can access devices through menu options. We're not gonna go through that in detail in this video. So these are ways that you can use to disconnect from the terminal server or clear sessions. Yeah, and this is how you can disconnect connections as well. And this is what I was using earlier, show sessions to verify to check the the active sessions, right? But no connections open, okay? And then of course show host, which are basically the mapping of the host names to the IP address or to the port and to the ports as well. And then you can also use that command. So in this case, we are connected to this terminal server through console connection, and that is active because we see this asterisk in front of here. So I think this is 0. Let me show line again. So apparently there we still see those connections. I'm pretty sure I actually disconnect. So I'm not sure why that is showing still. Yeah, and no connections open. Okay, and I've got some troubleshooting notes here. You might have observed that sometimes the connection is refused by a remote host when you connect to resolve. When you connect to resolve this, disconnect. Let me fix that. Disconnect any active connection from menu option or CLI exec mode. Use the Command clear line number and try to connect to the device again. Okay, I guess we did that earlier, and this here we're not able to demonstrate that, but because we did not actually create a menu on the terminal server. Okay, that's how you can configure a terminal server, uh, and you can use either Telnet or SSH. But of course, you want to use SSH because it's more secured. Telnet is plain text or clear text, so you don't want to do you don't want to use it these days, especially. So yeah, that's it in this video. Thanks for watching.